I had a long day, and I'm sure you did too, so I won't waste no more time. I got 8-bar gigs of look like little gold bars, flash drive thingies filled with Golden Debate Show pictures and all that, so hit me up. earlymorningmob.com. Let's get it in with the Golden Debate Show, because let's shine the truth on these vampires. Me and Capo just shot the drone video today. We will be shooting it again, another segment soon. The producer of the video is very interested in the show. You know, he's into the way that we think and whatnot, and he said we have a good little show and a good little song, and he was very glad not to be singing about bitches, bottles, and money when there's lots of truth to be shined. Golden Debate Show. Yes, Golden Debate. Let's shine the truth. Let's hunt the media, and let's hunt for the truth, and let's hunt for the facts. Golden. Damn, stay ready for the real.
The Golden Debate Show. Get that mac and cheese. Everybody deserves their mac and cheese.
8-bar gigs of real-looking bars of gold, flash drive things filled with all the shows and whatchamacalls and bells and whistles. The thing is they're 20 to 30 bucks. You decide how much you're going to give, because it's like a donation to the show as well. So the lowest number you can go 20, and the highest you can go to whatever you want. So let's get into it. Golden Debate Show. Enough of the bullshit, y'all. I was in a semi-good mood, but let's get it in. June 13th, Supreme Court rules. Human genes may not be patented. Human genes may not be patented. The Supreme Court ruled on Thursday the case involving a Utah genetics company stating on genes that correlate with increased risk of hereditary breast and ovarian cancer. The central question for the justices in the case was whether isolated genes are products of nature that may not be patented or human-made inventions eligible for patent protection. Also, the guy who last inspected that Philly building that collapsed, he committed suicide. So I thought that was pretty fishy as well, and pretty interesting to give, some note to. Also, FBI Director Robert Mueller said on Thursday that USA government is doing everything it can to hold confessed leaker Edward Snowden accountable for splashing surveillance secrets across the pages of newspapers worldwide. Mueller said in a U.S. House Judiciary Committee hearing that Snowden, a former national security agent contractor, harmed national security when he divulged the secrets. Which he kind of did in a way. You can't swoop down to the vampires level when you're attacking them. Also, there is a poll that what the Americans believe or have confidence in these institutions. What ranked the worst was Congress, which ranked the highest was military. So the confidence, just confidence that we have: number 1, the military; 2, small businesses; 3, the police; 4, the church or organized religion. Then you got the presidency, you got the medical system, then you got the U.S. Supreme Court, and then you got the public schools, the criminal justice system, banks, television news, newspapers, big business, organized labor, health maintenance organizations, aka HMOs, not homos, y'all, and Congress. So let's get it in.
Hello everyone, this is Jeff C. It is Tuesday, May 21st.
Science!
And I got some big news regarding the food that we
After that, I guess maybe I can't read a little something.
come out,
No, I fucked up.
talking about red meat, specifically processed meat. This is from naturalnews.com. Processed meat unsafe for human consumption.
Some shade, y'all. Go to debate. earlymorningmob.com. Like, comment, share, and download. That's all I'm really asking for.
Here's another one from the Examiner.
Down there, one of those chemicals. There's other guys that they look like. I don't know. This don't make no sense to everybody.
Right? Clinical studies linking cancer and diet have uncovered a harsh revelation for meat eaters. Processed meats have been declared too dangerous for human consumption. The culprit is red meat. The culprit in red meat is not the actual meat itself, but the sodium nitrate, which is a known carcinogen. Sodium nitrate inhibits the growth of bacteria that causes botulism and is a color fixture used to give meat a bright red color, providing a fresh look. Yeah, I mean,
wow.
I think a lot of
you
us
must really
know
like that mac
this-
and cheese.
This food is not
you
good.
clean the plate.
Get that mac and cheese.
so used to
Everybody
having it,
deserves
and
their mac and cheese.
We're also, as consumers, we shop by our eyes.
This other guy, what they look like, I don't know.
Wow, you must really like that mac and cheese. You clean the plate.
All these
Golden Debate, this debate, shit from the world, let's go.
You don't deserve any power. So go someplace and shoot yourself.
You can take that to the bank.
I don't have to listen to your phone calls to know what you're doing. If I know every single phone call you made, I'm able to
Get that mac
determine
and
every
cheese,
single person you talk to.
Science.
I can get a pattern about your life that is very, very intrusive. And the real question here is, what do they do with this information that they collect that does not have anything to do with Al-Qaeda? And we're going to trust the president and the vice president of the United States that they're doing the right thing. Don't count me in on that.
I just would love to know how the left expects us to go after terrorists and keep us safe, right? So if they're not going to acknowledge a war on terror, if they don't like drone strikes, if they don't like enhanced interrogation, and now they're going crazy about the surveillance program, how do they propose that we go after terror?
Apology.
That's true. Be nice. Say kind things. Give speeches in Cairo.
Intercepts.
Flatter their pottery skills and tapestries.
Squirrel.
Yeah. So I like to always play
Well,
this
that's not who we're supposed to be, but that's exactly
how
who
they
Barack
switched
Obama
sides.
is. That's who he is. It would change. He was look. People sometimes say, "Oh no, he never promised not to spy on you." Yes, he did. He promised it right there in the OA campaign. So like this is supposed to be a big faux pas, like, "Oh no, don't do it." He lied. It's not subtle. He said there will be no spying on citizens who are not suspected of a crime. He lied. There is spying on all of us, and we're not suspected of a crime. Barack Obama is a liar. Can I make it clear? Like, that's like a big thing to say, oh my God, wow, he just called a politician a liar. Yes, Obama's a politician, he's Big Brother, and he's a liar. And by the way, today, Washington Post breaks another story.
Get that mac and cheese. Science.
So I'm off the flow, never keep them bold though. I keep this shit original, longbow, Navajo. Flip the flows, keep it coming for that land that brave heart shit. That's that straight that.
Get that mac and cheese.
You can fucking send some fake.
Down there, one of those chemicals. This other guy, what they look like, I don't know.
Looking like it's science.
Get that mac and cheese, everybody.
Try to buy it, jackpot, tip, lucky six. You can take your pick, but you couldn't fucking grip. Kryptonite, cyanide, I'm a knight. No Templar off the mind like this. When I'm rocking off the Templar, switch this. Put no switch hitting when you know we keep it pitching.
Some of our viewers, some of our Twitter followers have asked the question in an incredulous way, which is, how could General Alexander not know that Edward Snowden had access to all of this?
Oh, my Lord. Edward Snowden is a tiny, tiny, tiny little actor in General Alexander's world. I think that is, I don't know, I'm sorry
Get
I'm
that
laughing.
mac and cheese, everybody.
The process
GoldenDebateShow, the Golden Show and the Golden Debate Show. Like, comment, share, and download. Let's do it, Golden Universe.
That he was on,
see what happens when you read too much now.
Certain types of people with certain skills.
The knowledge, because he needs power.
And they would be hired with those skills.
Science.
And in his case, based on clearances that had been
get that mac and cheese, everybody.
In previous positions. So, there's probably, that's something that really
we got the
needs
club
to be
popping and the
looked
booties
at,
popping too, but we got the mentals popping foremost.
Completely, what we call it the insider threat. You're never going to be completely able to know what's in someone's heart in terms of, like, if they think that this process is bothersome. That's a hard thing to sort of clear someone about, but that is probably something that's going to be looked at more closely. I mean, we encourage independent-mindedness and concern for civil liberties in this country, and that's a really healthy thing. But there's a balance, and the president said that last week. There is a balance between security and civil liberties, and we're always looking for it, and we should always be talking about it. There are certain things that
our voicemail line is 219-2-DAVID-P. His voicemail about the young rapper who might have to go to prison because of terroristic threats applied to his lyrics.
And General Alexander's been working this
going on, Dave?
day and night for years and years and years.
I was calling in regards to the young, amateur rapper guy.
Yeah.
Who's, facing 20 years or whatever. I think it's pretty hilarious. But I think you brought up a good point with the 50 Cent thing. There are professional rappers who make threats like that, and they make money off of it, so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Lewis actually, I think, made that point. I think you were the one who said that.
Yeah, I said if it was someone who's already famous or infamous, if you will, and making tons of money off this anyway, I don't think anyone would pay attention to it because there's just more of the same from this person.
Get that mac and
Here's
cheese,
a voicemail
everybody.
reacting to my idea yesterday that Alex Jones is just playing a character and that his interview on the BBC was more evidence of that.
Hey, Dave, this is Vadim in Florida, and I just watched your What Happens to Alex
Watch
Jones
out for that.
in the UK
Watch
video.
that guy, watch a lot of people.
I think Alex Jones
No one's got him asking,
knows
folks.
that he is
No
full
one's
of
got
it.
it all
And,
planned out.
You know, it makes him all the more despicable in my mind. And, you know, I really think that we're going to start seeing a lot more types like this in the 21st century. Conspiracy theorist Bengalis like Jones, you know, they're basically new televangelists. And I think they're going to have even more power to be a destructive force in our society. Cause
That's an interesting point, because if he is playing a character, and we know that his followers act based on the ideas he espouses, isn't that incredibly dangerous to just as a goof, just because you think this character will make you popular, to be saying things that are actually getting people to act in the real world?
Yeah, it is despicable. It's a good way to put it.
The Indiegogo campaign continues. Go to our website, davidpakman.com. Click on the bright blue banner at the top of the page. Watch the video about what's going on. Contribute, blah, 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 all that stuff. I won't give you the whole pitch here, but check it out. A lot of cool stuff going on.
Shut up already. Let's do this science.
davidpakman.com/membership. Tomorrow, I'm looking forward to talking about this story. There is a man who has
Get that mac and cheese, everybody. Deserves their mac and cheese.
because she didn't give him sex or his money back. Of course, this happened in Texas where prostitution isn't even legal. So there's a lot of interesting questions. I'm looking forward to talking about that tomorrow, and a whole bunch of other stuff happening tomorrow. More on the George Zimmerman case as it continues. What else?
Numbers are watched. Numbers are, you know, there's millions and millions and millions of things.
Science.
If you see one tagged as linked to a number overseas that has been linked to terrorist activity, then they look at it closely after they go to the FISA court. At some point, people are going to have to trust that their government is full of incredibly responsible, brilliant, and trustworthy people like General Alexander,
Some yes,
which is why
most
he
no.
is the director of the NSA and has been for almost, I think, 8 years now. People are going to have to accept that there are super smart people that do understand the technology, but respect the civil liberties and will not be digging into their personal information. The thought that the government has time to read your chit-chat with your, brothers and sisters is crazy.
That's crazy talk. It's crazy talk.
We want to get you updated on the latest political news this morning. Federal law enforcement hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst at the Republican and Democratic national conventions. An intelligence bulletin obtained by CNN warns of violence by anarchist extremist groups, possibly using improvised explosive devices. It cites concerns over bridges and infrastructure in both Tampa and Charlotte. That's where the
Anybody in government wanted to go further than just that top-line data and wanted to, for example, listen to Jackie Combs' phone call, they'd have to go back to a federal judge. Good morning, everybody. It is wanted to see all of you.
Oh, everybody.
And I want to thank everybody who's here. I think there's only one
Get
problem.
that mac and
that
cheese,
is that my
everybody.
remarks are not
Deserves
safe.
their mac and cheese.
People! Things by Friday afternoon, things get a little challenged.
Chinese direct investment into the UK. All of this is welcome, and we need to see it grow
Major
even
Farage
further.
is the only guy who I really follow out of the United States.
Will the Prime Minister confirm that he understands the importance of the creative industries to the economy of this country, and that they need to be buttressed by adequate intellectual property rights? But is he also aware that his intellectual property minister, that horny-handed son of toil, the 5th Viscount Younger of Lecky, the fifth Viscount Younger of Lecky, recently told the Culture, Media and Sports Select Committee in relation to Google that I am very aware of their power. I am also very aware that they have access, for whatever reason, to higher levels at number 10 than do I. Is that not a disgraceful comment?
The question, which refers to a distinguished constituent of mine, suffered from...
Okay.
Hello, I'm Robert Redford. Record-setting heat and drought, rising sea levels, and severe weather events like Hurricane Sandy. Climate change is happening fast. We've got to stop making the problem worse, and that means reducing carbon pollution from its biggest source, coal-fired power plants. It's harming our environment and our communities. Even so, Congress has refused to take steps that would protect us from climate change.
They refused.
The good news is that President Obama has pledged to act, and he has the power to do it.
We will respond to the threat of climate change, knowing that the failure to do so would betray our children and future generations.
Through the Environmental Protection Agency, the President can require dirty coal plants to cut carbon pollution. Replacing dirty fuels with clean power and energy efficiency is going to create jobs, boost the economy, and save us money. But most important of all, it will protect our climate. I just hope the President has the courage of his convictions. Please, urge the President to make dirty power plants clean up their carbon pollution. We owe that to future generations. Thank you.
Like, comment, share, down. Check out the Golden.
Hello, I'm Robert Redford.
Science.
Hello,
okay. Shut up already. This is science.
Believe, we had this debate several times, and Senator Durbin brought it up from 2001 on. And this is one now where we need to bring out, because of these leaks, the rest of the story, show what we do, what it protects the country from, and have the debate. Does it make sense? And so that's part, in order to do that, I think what we have to give you is the rest of that data. Tomorrow we'll put that in a classified session, but the intent would be to try to get as much out public so that everybody has the information where we can. And the reason that I hesitate a little bit here is I don't want to make a mistake that causes the statements that I have for our country to lose some form of protection, and we get hit with a terrorist attack because I made that mistake.
So I would say that's not propping up, as we have bank failures here and the oil companies here in destitution. We continue to finance them. So I would say totally ignore them. If there's a threat to our national security, you never act secretly through the CIA or doing anything militarily without the consent of Congress. Congress is responsible to defend this country.
But what if the Soviets started sending the money if we didn't send the money?
And the Soviet system would fall even more rapidly. They can't even feed themselves. We're financing the Soviet system, too.
You wouldn't worry about that as President of the United States.
Well, I would worry if they threatened my security and the security of the country. But I think it would be helpful to bankrupt the Soviet Union if they want to spend all their money, because they couldn't didn't win in Afghanistan and they're broke, and now they're getting more loans from the Soviets.
But they could put
United States.
They could put up a missile base over there.
Well, they have one in Cuba.
I'm talking about in Mexico across the border.
But they have one in Cuba, 90 miles off our shore, and ever since Kennedy, all our presidents have agreed never to touch Castro. At the same time, they tell us we have to spend $300 billion a year stopping the spread of communism. So I would say that supporting and making sure Castro can exist is ignoring.
When I surveyed the assignment that God Almighty has given to me, sent me to Harlem and told me to preach, and to preach righteousness. And when I surveyed it after a few years of doing it, I returned to the Lord and asked him, well, how can I get this done? How can I get such a massive undertaking done? And he said to me to preach and pray. And that's all I ever got from him regarding on how to get this work done. Preach and pray. So preaching is something that I do. When I stand to preach, I realize that by doing it, it affects the work and the power. God unites it with his divine purpose. But prayer is something also that's very critical. Now, it needs to be clear as well
that always keep an open mind and an open heart to all religions.
God has called me to do.
Because you need to know
he doesn't want the government or an organization like the NAACP even the Tea Party, for that matter, since they are opposites of the same spectrum. One is racist. I don't know if the Tea Party is racist. I know that the NAACP is. They got it in their name, colored people.
Beat these vampires. That's the most important part.
But I don't think he doesn't want the Tea Party or the NAACP or the Democrat or the Republican or the liberals or the conservatives to get the glory of the work that he has assigned to my hand to do. That I am to simply appeal to persons such as yourself, and you come alongside and help me. That way, when the work is done, when the streets of Harlem are so clean, you can take off your shoes and walk barefoot. When you see men walking their children to school and clean and safe streets, and men in this community are righteous, they are leaders in their homes, nurturing and supporting their wives emotionally, financially, socially. And these men are likewise leaders in the church and leaders in the community, publishers and bankers and investors and developers of every sort. When you see this happen, God says he does not want anybody to get the glory except himself, that he will not share his glory with the NAACP that came along and said, well, we helped Manning. We were able to organize and fundraise for him and get him before audiences so he could fundraise, or we were able to get people to follow him through our influence. God says no. God says no. No, 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 no. When this vision, prophecy, promised land prophecy of Hotla does happen, the world will say God and God alone got that job done. Manning was out there many years by himself. And only with the help of God did it get done, and the help of the people that came alongside him, which I'm now getting ready to address, and that is you.
It's the Coke bottle.
You're not a major organization, and you wouldn't be seeking any credit
of the Coke bottle
for helping.
The federal
and your help has sustained and gotten us as far as we have gotten with your help.
And the companies
at present. Now, here's what I'm now led by the Lord to do: to pray for you. Preach, God said, preach to you, and then, of course, pray for you. I'm going to pray now that those of you who have come alongside and understand that God wants to raise up this community, wants to get rid of civil rights and replace it with righteousness, want to get rid of racism and poverty and brokenness and replace it with righteousness.
And children can live safely.
The cameras are solar powered and motion activated. The flash is powerful enough to photograph a suspect up to 100 feet away, even in darkness. Each unit costs $6,000. There are a number of residents who say the money is being misspent given the poor conditions in some of the playgrounds.
There's nothing in here, so why you got cameras in here? Don't nobody be in here? It's really sad because these kids don't have nowhere to go. Nowhere to play. What are they going to play on? Everything over there is tore up or messed up.
But officials say they can't fix up the parks until they crack down on vandalism, hence the
Want
cameras.
to get rid of African American and black labels and call ourselves Christians. And he sent me to get it done, and I will remain until the job is complete.
Japan is not in the middle age. We are one of the most advanced country in this field. Don't laugh. Why you are laughing? Shut up.
Shut up, citizen.
Shut up.
Get that mac and cheese.
We are one of the most advanced country in this field. That is our proud, of course. There are still shortages, of course, shortcomings. Every country has shortages and shortcomings.
It's the only way you can really get at them, short of
Thank you very much. I'm going to take one question and
get that mac and cheese.
remember, people are going to have opportunities to also answer questions when I'm with the Chinese president today. So I don't want the whole day to just be questions. I'm going to take Jackie Combs' question.
Mr. President, could you please react to the reports of secret government surveillance of phones and internets, and can you also assure Americans that the government, your government, doesn't have some massive secret database of all their personal online information?
When I came
and activities?
into this office, I made two commitments that are more important than any commitment I made. Number one, to keep the American people safe, and number two, to uphold the Constitution. And that includes what I consider to be a constitutional right to privacy and an observance of civil liberties. Now,
listen, I'm here to warn
the
people.
programs
You keep telling me
that
to
have
shut
been discussed
up.
over the last couple of days in the
Okay, our government, the U.S. is building FEMA camps.
To the
we have an NDAA where they disappear people now. You have this arrest for public safety, life in prison.
You are the worst person I've ever interviewed.
No, it's basically off with their heads, disappear,
David, thank you
take
for
them away.
being with us.
Infowars.com.
Half-past 11. You're watching the Sunday politics. We have an idiot on the program today. Coming up in just 20 minutes.
You will not stop the republic. Humanity is awakening. Infowars.com. No, you guys are.
I'll be looking at the week ahead with our political panel. Until then, the Sunday politics across
privacy
the
that are
UK.
involved in getting phone numbers or duration without a name attached and not looking at content that on net.
Not these scandals.
Peter, again, why do they get the idea? And if it isn't Connecticut, I'll just leave the possibility that it's not. Why do they just assume evil on the part of Obama? I mean, he's raised his whole life has been crystal clear and clean as a whistle and transparent.
And
we
also
know his whole life through all the great
100%
excellent education he's had, the good part working through pro bono work he's done throughout his life. He's never been a money grubber. He's never done anything wrong in his life, legally, ethically, whatever. His family is picture perfect. The way he's raised those daughters, everything is clean as a whistle. And yet they just refer to him as evil. They just refer to him as the lie. I just gotta believe it's ethnic with these people. They just got a problem with this guy being president. Well, is there any other evidence to justify why they keep calling him a bad man? And that's what they do.
Well, I think on big God.
On the air, day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations
No, there's 8-bar golden things. Holla at the boy called the Great 15.com to support the show. Go to earlymotormob.com and like, comment, share, and download it. He's here. Thanks for listening to The Golden Show. All thoughts and opinions are solely that of the host, guests, and sources, and is only to keep free thought alive. Golden Show. earlymotormob.com.
Science. 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 Get that mac and cheese.
Lucy Kavanagh reports much of the Western media coverage is directed against the picture Assad is trying to paint, even if that means sanitizing their own coverage.
It was another disturbing example of the many atrocities committed throughout the Syrian war. A truck bomb with homemade explosives headed for a checkpoint to the entrance of Syria's largest city. But the men that are loading it aren't Assad forces. They're one of the many groups fighting under the banner of the Free Syrian Army. Their captive is said to be a member of the Shabiha, a militia with very close ties.
I was asked, when are you going to stop beating your wife kind of question, which is